Would I cruise during hurricane season? What ship do I choose? Do I go on Royal, Carnival, Norwegian? Do I go on a big ship, a little ship? What do I choose? How do I know? Dina, did you really like cruising solo? What is the best way for me to figure out how not to be a pier runner? But I may get sick, Dina. I am really prone to seasickness. Dina, how can you afford to go on a cruise? Hi, welcome back to Dina Cruising Through Life. I hope you're having an amazing day. I am having a better day than yesterday if you've been watching my 21-day cruise diet challenge. Yesterday I failed slightly, but I can link, you can find it. Anyway, I am finally recording. It's been a while since I've actually done this. And so I wanted to make sure I had a lot of thoughts over the last few weeks, and I just haven't had a chance to sit down and do this. So I'm all excited to get my thoughts that I've been putting into my phone down for you. So some of the questions I get for going on cruising by people in general, sometimes it's not out there, it's people that I meet in the market, at work, pretty much everywhere. It's kind of crazy how if I bring up cruising or if I have something cruising related on, I'll get asked questions. Well, let me share some of my thoughts on some of these questions that I get asked pretty frequently. These are the most frequent questions that I get asked. One, hurricane season. I have never cruised during hurricane season in the Caribbean. But next year we have one late because we're in the group cruise for Sharon C. and Lalita Loca group cruise that is going to happen. And I don't even know how many people. She says there's like mega people. Anyway, we're taking over the ship. So that'll be pretty much the first time, and it'll be towards the end of hurricane season, which hurricane season tends to be like mid-April to beginning or mid of October. And so we have never traveled through that, and I've never traveled through that during hurricane season. Why? I tend to not deal with humidity very well, and during those summer months, it gets very, very warm and high humidity in the Caribbean, and it's also the prices spike because summer is out and the children are out. And so that is one of the main reasons why I don't travel during hurricane season. It sounds kind of odd that the prices would spike, but obviously it's because families want to enjoy it. Now, let me tell you, plenty of people, millions, maybe not millions, hundreds of thousands of people travel through and have traveled through hurricane season. Every year. It's not a big surprise that people do this. So the ships and the captains are very good about making sure they go around. Now, sometimes a hurricane can move or travel in a different pattern all of a sudden, and sometimes you'll hear about some of those stories, but they are very few and far between. They always try to make sure they go out. Now, the biggest thing you'll hear is that sometimes the ship will get stuck out to sea longer than the cruise because of the hurricane hitting land. That has happened. So, but that is for the safety of all the passengers, obviously. So, so that's one of the things. But me personally, I have never booked it just because that is the time frame that I normally would not book. We tend to go towards the months that we can both take off of work, and the price is right for us. So what cruise line and ship? So I usually say, what kind of traveler are you? Are you more of a high-end? You want a great experience? You want kind of luxury? You know, what does that look like? And I think that's going to give you more of an idea to help someone choose something. To be honest, I would literally say I recommend, but I wouldn't say, oh, you got to go here or you got to do this. And the reason is because you really don't know what that traveler is because you're not them. So I go by food, good food, and basically, you know, what I'd want to experience for that vacation, whether it's land or sea. But that's really what I try to do. And then how much I want to spend. So that's kind of how I select things. It could be different reasons, you know, that I want to go. Maybe this time I want to go back to the Caribbean. Maybe I want to go see the Greek islands. Maybe I really want to go to the Canary Islands. So sometimes I'll look for itineraries that have those items in them and then kind of see where my price lies, and then I'll look and see what ships are available, and then I'll narrow it down. I'm pretty much open to anything, but until I've gone on every ship on every cruise line, which is hopefully will happen, I don't think that I can make a totally informed decision to help someone out with something like that, except to get a base, or if I know them very well, or if I've traveled with them, then I can kind of get an idea. So anyway, that's what I do. Did I really like solo cruising? Abso-freaking-lutely. I loved it. I loved my quiet time, my downtime. Did I miss my husband or having someone with me? Abso-freaking-lutely. I think when you're trying to share things and new things, because it was like a totally new thing, it wasn't something I'd repeated or done before, then, then it's kind of not so fun. But what I did enjoy was I met people and they were cruising solo and we hung together, and so you bond and you make these friendships and stuff. So that was really cool, and I really did enjoy that. I also got to speak with more crew when I was solo because they got to know me very well, and they saw me speaking to the camera a lot, and they wanted to get in on the camera and stuff, so which is the first time I had vlogged on a cruise. So I actually really did enjoy it. Would I do it again? Absolutely. Absolutely. I know there are some couples who say, oh, my husband would kill me. But my husband, we've been like this forever, and we've always done this where I have taken off randomly. I didn't say randomly. This was planned. But I have gotten up in the morning and said, hey, I'm going to the beach. And he's like, oh, okay. And not really a big deal. So, yeah, I totally loved it, and I would do it again. What is the best thing to make sure that you're not a pier runner? Get a watch that is waterproof, and the time is to the ship time. Also, use your phone. Take a picture of your daily itinerary that says what time you're supposed to be back, so you don't have to say, was it 5 o'clock or was it 6 o'clock? Was that yesterday's time or was that today's time? Make sure you always look to see if the time has changed, so you change your watch as well. But always make sure your ship time and your itinerary is there and you have it on your phone. If not, take the itinerary with you. If you don't, I mean, most people have a phone, but just in case, take it with you. I think that's always the best thing to do, is to make sure you're not a pier runner. In Ensenada this last time, the shuttle kept waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting to take us back. And we were like getting a little panicky. We were supposed to be on the ship by 5:30. 5:22 is when we arrived back at the port, going through security to get on the ship. It was very close. That's the closest I'd ever been. All I can say is if the bus broke down, yeah, you feel me now. All right, seasickness. Yes, I am prone to seasickness. I take a pill. I do just over-the-counter medicine, Dramamine. I think there's Bomine or something like that. I mean, bromine. Anyway, so there's over-the-counter meds. That's what I do. That's what works for me. I wanted to try the pressure bracelets. I wanted to try the patch. I'm afraid. I am so prone to seasickness and motion sickness that I feel that's the best thing to do. I will say that on many of the ships, they have great stabilizers, especially the medium to larger sizes. You really don't feel a whole lot unless, of course, you're getting hit by a 100-mile-an-hour wind, which happened recently. Seas can get very rough at times. Again, hurricane season, stuff like that. Things can happen. Things can change. I get it. My thing is the pills. Other people use a lot of different things. Like I mentioned, the pressure bracelets, the patches, green apples, ginger candy. All those things are things that people use, and they seem to work. I like the medication. So the next thing is, how can I afford to go on all these cruises? I actually don't go on a lot of cruises. That's like a myth. I actually have conferences. I do travel 2 or 3 times a year for conferences, so that may seem like I travel or go places a lot. I do also do things like in between cruises and stuff, so it does seem like I'm very active, but hey, I have 8 grandchildren, so I am always on the go for something. In fact, we have a birthday coming up in April, here in a couple weeks. No, a couple weeks, about 4 weeks. 2 weeks is our cruise, 2 weeks later is our grandson's birthday. Yes, I'm always doing something. How can I afford it? I plan. I budget. I decide if I want to eat out or if I'm going to put $20 towards a cruise. I just plan. That's all you can do. And everyone has a different budget that they want to spend. So maybe if I go with my husband, we get a balcony, we'll spend a little bit more. If I go solo, I'm okay with doing an inside. I've done insides with friends as well, and it worked out just fine. I just think that that's like the easiest thing to do is you plan. And everyone has their own budget for their own travel and what they want to do and what they want to spend. So I basically say I'm not going to judge you for what you spend on your vacations. Please don't judge me on what I do for my vacations. This brings me happiness and joy. Alright, if you have any other questions, feel free to leave a comment below. Take care. Have a